Yeah, that's fine. I mean, taking out the Aegis there lets them now plan for the next few minutes. Once they get that Sven Blink Dagger, that's going to be the big one to make aggressive plays. How he's doing on Matu. Almost Radiance finished up, so that's pretty... That's going to be a pretty fast Midas Radiance coming out for him. So he's going to be also that scaling core, since they only really have... I mean, you can count, of course, Nature's Prophet as also a core, but they have like this weird kind of pseudo-cores, right? Like Nature's Prophet, Necro. They scale, but they're different the way that they scale.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not your traditional hard carry farming such cores. But I mean, that Radiance is also going to, of course, cause issues for IG.V lineup. You know, so we've said they want to go for this wombo, but if the blinks on the Sven and eventually the blink on the Darkseer are going to be constantly cancelled by Matu's presence on the front lines, it's going to make it a lot harder for them to find that jump.
Yeah, IG.V smoked up. They're looking to make a play with that reveal of the blink
dagger. But look
dagger.
who's behind them. It's only GH with an Invis rune.
Oh, no
I mean,
way.
It couldn't be any better for Liquid here, as GH just waltzes in, cancels the smoke, and now IG.V kind of getting pulled apart. Paparazzi will put the God Strength, jumps forward there as he was able to set up for sort of 2 attempts on the lives of Liquid. And then indeed, Cicada turning up just at the right time. They turn it into a tier 1 push. Not necessarily the perfect execution of a wombo combo, but as a team fight goes, IG.V really clean there with their execution and getting in and out at the right time with the course.
It was just perfect movement. Liquid had no idea that everyone was there. GH broke the smoke on 1 or 2, and you saw the Nature's Prophet TPing in, but then they were like, oh my god, it's a trap. Like, we just TP'd into 4 heroes. Then Rasta Wards cut off Miracle. The Rasta Wards and the Darkseer wall pretty much cut the aggression off from Liquid to make it to that other side of the fight, and then Kuroki gets isolated. And when Kuroki gets isolated, that's like, you don't want to take a fight when Echo Slam is down and your other support already has lost their life. So that was definitely a big play there for IG.V, but Liquid just not expecting it. However, now, GH is about to have that Blink Dagger. That's going to definitely throw a bit of a hatchet into the works.
Absolutely, GH being GH. Can certainly expect these team points to be a little stickier for IG.V. Paparazzi for the Halberd next. Still a bit of a win. He's nearly got the sandwich done. And that extra bit of tank and obviously great with the Sven.
Almost the Greaves for in July. So he should be able to remove that Orchid Silence from Nature's Prophet. I think Mike Drosh just picked it up, so that'll be nice for him. Also, that increased armor versus Troll Warlord should be pretty good for his team. Once he gets that Blink Dagger, that's where it becomes a lot easier for IG.V just to take fights wherever they really want. It's just it's all going to be about the vision games in these. So I want to see My Control actually using his trains a lot to scout. I know he's one of the players that does do that a lot. So I want to see a couple of those just walking around like throughout the jungle and stuff, just to get some more information, because that's definitely what caught them off guard, is IG.V just smoking up and them having no idea that everyone was there. So maybe some deep wards if they can get in there. Possible for Liquid.
Yeah, we've got the Bloodstone now finished on Cicada, so this is
another smoke.
The time to go, and yeah, absolutely. Here we have it. IG.V, the movement. They get the catch.
They might be able to find somebody here. In July is forcing the lane out, so they're going to smoke actually ahead of the lane, which is something that most teams don't really like to do. I know Wings was a big team that used to do this. They smoke way ahead of the lane, and then they meet up in a different area.
If they get vision on Matu and Kuroki, this could be the perfect jump, and there we have it, beautifully done. Straight away, the stun's there onto the Wyvern. There's going to be no chance of any sort of saves, and they clean up both of them. Yeah, IG.V really now turning the game on its head, putting the pressure onto Liquid, and Liquid, they've got to be so careful with how they walk around this map, because IG.V, as we've seen there, they just go around as a party and they take you down. It doesn't matter if you've got a Wyvern or not, he's not going to get the chance to do any sort of save. Yep,
getting that quick ward up, and I actually really love that smoke. That's one that you don't really expect. Sure, there's that objective there, the tier 1, that might be the one indicator for Liquid that, you see the Darkseer forcing it in, you don't see anything else on the map, something could be up, but the way that IG.V smoked ahead instead of smoking like behind or like adjacent to him, they smoked way ahead of him, and it was like the fight wasn't set up around the tower yet. Liquid did not expect that at all.
Getting a decent amount of damage down here as they'll leave the walls to do the work. GH and Kuroki will be able to clean up some of them on the way out. Down about that.
That's great for Cicada there, getting those 2 extra Bloodstone charges.
Now the net worth graph really starting to even back off, as we can see now, just less than a 1k lead for Liquid. IG.V really being able to turn things around, these movements. Paparazzi in a very healthy place now in regards to farming. Pretty much neck and neck with Matsumbaman. only 1,000 behind Miracle.
Yeah.
And Sven being Sven, we definitely expect to see, you know, him take the lead if the game continues at this pace.
Yeah, he's on his way up there. And Halberd is going to be super useful versus the Troll Warlord. I think that's having evasion versus Troll early on actually makes it so hard for him to play around.
Yeah,
Evasion and of course,
and
yeah, the disarm. Of course,
yeah. Both aspects, yeah, very strong against. I mean, yeah, not just him, but the lineup as a whole.
And then once Paparazzi actually gets that level 20, if he chooses to go for the evasion as well, that can be pretty devastating to have, you know, Liquid's one big physical damage dealer have to be forced into an MKB or something along those lines. They are smoked up now, though. They have a little bit of a vision advantage, but they're afraid. They're afraid of IG.V's big wombo combo team fight.
Absolutely, and understandably so. They do not want to waltz up to this shrine. As IG.V, they're on the high ground ready for this. The Liquid are still sticking around, though. It's going to be about who gets the jump. There's dogfights. That's not a bad way to start. They're getting the eyes onto GH, so he's not going to be able to get the jump in. Here comes Paparazzi, but already they've lost Sakata. Miracle with the BKB reveal, ready to turn and fight. GH falling low. The Greaves pop by in July. Cold Embrace comes in from Kuroki to save GH, and it is Liquid's fight to take so far. They've already picked up 2. Paparazzi with the war cry, starting to back up, but Miracle and Matuma are hot on the chase. There's GH with the Fisher, jump forward, catching out in July. Not quite enough damage to finish him off at the moment, but the rest of Liquid, they turn towards the bigger kill. They get Paparazzi. Super, with a cheeky zap, does manage to punish Kuroki, but IG.V, they've lost 3. Super, he's going to try and run away from this one. We'll see if Miracle continues to look to chase. It looks like Super is going to be able to get himself back in time, but that fight, things really being turned around, even though it looked as if it could have been okay for IG.V, getting that sort of jump onto GH and making sure he doesn't have to blink echo. But just the team as a whole, Matu's Radiance, Miracle's BKB, those sort of items, just having those at the 22-minute mark, making all the difference in these team fights. Yeah,
the Orchid, like all these small little items, the BKB, the Orchid, and then of course the Radiance as well. Actually, the damage ticks. It actually I think it canceled the Sven blink at the end. He was trying to go for a Kuro, but in the midst of the team fight, like you said, he gets a good jump on Earthshaker. Storm Spirit tries to go on the other side of the fight, and he just gets instantly Reaper Sight the Orchid and just dies. And then from there, the fight becomes really difficult for the Sven. Remember, like, it is a Sven who's playing versus a Nature's Prophet and a Cold Embrace, so you do get kited pretty naturally. He does have Quelling Blade, but it's still kind of tough to get into those midst of the fray.
I mean, after seeing that fight as well, do you not kind of look at Sakata and say, well, isn't this just a great game to try and get that Lincoln's done? You need to have that some sort of save, or do you kind of understand why he is still just saying, I've got to get that Orchid. I've got to be able to do something aggressive myself. Or would you not like to have seen more survivability from the Storm?
I think Orchid into BKB could be decent this game. Like he needs something to deal with those setups. Like BKB, I think Lincoln's could be okay because there's not really that many targeted spells. It's
there's not a lot to pop it, you know what I mean?
Reaper, and what, like the, I guess you could use Wrath of Nature or Splinter Blast to break it, but yeah, those are the harder ones to actually target on him. So I think Lincoln's BKB is definitely safe, but having the Orchid is like, that's your timing, right? You need to have your Orchid and your Orchid Bloodstone by like the 28-30 minute marker. You're in a pretty bad spot as a Storm. So yeah, he has an Orchid queued up into the BKB. I think the magic immunity is going to be very crucial versus the Earthshaker and versus the Necro.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. You know, Necro definitely one of those heroes that, I mean, does he ever really build anything that can remove a silence? I mean, Greaves is unlikely, really, especially on sort of a safe lane Necro now. And you don't really want to be getting BKB on this hero, and you're definitely not building Manta Star.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, the Orchid on Storm is just great versus whenever you can get into the backline, right? If you get, because they have so many jumpers, like we mentioned, if they can get into the backline, they can disable the curse, they just completely remove Kuroki from the fight, then they can go for the other ones. It's just great to have like that kind of double disable method from Storm Spirit. Pull one, Orchid another one, you're able to do a lot of damage in team fights with that. Liquid now, all making their move down bottom. They're smoked up. They're looking to get extremely aggressive here on the high ground.
They're ready to go in by the looks of it. There we have it. Jump away straight away with the Echo Slam, and there we have it again. Straight down with the Reaper's Sight. That's Sakata immediately out of the fight. Miracle pots the BKB. There's an attempt for the combo here from Injalize. He comes in with a vacuum wall. There was no initial follow-up from Paparazzi, as he's not quite back. Now he's around in the neighborhood. But already, IG.V, they've lost 2. Liquid are going to stand their ground, continue to pummel into this tower. Jump forward from Matuma as he forces back Super on the Shaman, and the space is being made here as they just continue to push. Vacuum is going to be back up in 6 seconds, and that almost certainly is going to be when they try for another play, but we can see already Liquid split up nicely, very well prepared for that sort of attempt. And there we have Fisher onto the Shaman. They put the Warcry. Injali really wanting to try and go for a jump for this setup, but they just can't get themselves in at all. They're just going to lose the melee racks, and IG.V unable to really dig their teeth into this push from Liquid, being 2 members down.
That was really nice. They saw the Shadow Shaman like split pushing top. He drops the wards. They make that smoke rotation bottom. They see the jump on Storm. They do not hesitate whatsoever. They blow the Reaper's sight. They use everything possible to take him out. And yeah, clean racks.
Yeah. And to be, I mentioned with the Necro, I was like, maybe you don't necessarily want to be building that BKB, but Matu does indeed see that Orchid threat as big as such that he is going to build the BKB. And I guess it's understandable with the amount of silences and disables they have. And as we see, if he can get the Reaper Scythe out, they will win that fight. I mean, he's not going to get it out this time as he just gets straight jumped on there by the full lineup of IG.V as they come storming ahead into the territory of Liquid. I guess Matu probably just didn't expect that sort of movement to come out that quickly after Liquid taking that bottom lane, and in fact this is a brilliant play from IG.V. They get that kill, immediately move into the pit with the wards, and certainly make the best out of a bad situation in terms of losing that bottom Rax. Yeah, they're killing the core and taking the Roche. You're not even too mad about that trade.
Yep, I mean, it's the best Aegis holder in the game. Yeah. Storm Spirit gonna have Orchid finished up. Paparazzi also gonna get that BKB timing, and that's huge for them to really take those fights versus Liquid. That was definitely the perfect smoke coming out. Liquid just definitely not expecting that one again. So far, IG.V's had, what, 3 successful smokes that Liquid has not really expected in that kind of manner, so definitely props to them for having a good read on the map and understanding where they want to take those fights.
And as you said, not only the BKB on Sven, but he's very close to having that level 18, that third God strength making all the difference. He's got the cheese in his pocket. Yeah, IG.V, not wants to be shaken after losing a melee Rax. Just playing it cool. I mean, I guess in retrospect, they didn't jump in because they're already looking at the longer game. They're like, let's just let this go. We know we can go for this sort of aggressive play and turn it into a Roche take. Very nice jump from there, but still, overall, obviously with those racks going down, Liquid do hold the slight lead. Still only very slight. They're 3K at 28 minutes in. Definitely still anyone's game.
Yeah, it's really been coming down to just initiations and the way the fight's taken, like from which angles. Trophy's been overall like he's standing in a good place, but it's very hard to play Winter Wyvern in these type of games. But versus Storm Spirit versus Earth Spirit, just so many ways to get on you, so you have to be really careful of your positioning. And like you see, he went for the max Cold Embrace build and the max Splinter Blast build. So deep push and sustain, as we kind of expected, not just that constant harass with Arctic Burn. Although Arctic Burn does feel pretty good once you start skilling it up now, when you have the 8-second flight duration and 20-second cooldown now. So, mind control, BKB as well. I won't worry about that. They pretty much all need BKBs on Liquid because, I mean, you're playing versus Earth Spirit, Darkseer.
Yeah,
just so many magnetized spreads on you, and he pulls a Geo Grip. You can all just get silenced, and it can be pretty devastating for the team fight.
Definitely potentially gonna be an issue once those BKB durations start to run low, you know what I mean? And kind of looking at it as well, I feel with the heroes, this is a game that Liquid don't want to push their luck too late with this one, surely, because of that Wombo and because of having this late game threat of, if you get caught out, this Sven will take you down in a couple of hits in a combo. Yeah,
they definitely don't want. If they take it too late, it can be. Yeah, I mean, they have a Necro, Nature's Prophet, Troll Warlord versus Storm Sven. Storm can just zip into the back lines and cause so much havoc. That being said, though, Liquid, if they get super farmed in Paparazzi mid.
They are going to jump in. Reaper Scythe comes in a little bit early, and Paparazzi gets able to BKB. Now they look for the turn. Cicada zipping in straight away. They'll clean up Matumaman, who's left behind by the rest of his team, and Paparazzi just jumps in 2 hits, takes down another. The Wyverns are full, and they're not done yet. They were chasing for more, seeing if they could get anything else, though. But the Liquid were able to get the other 3 out of there. But I really feel this is starting to get to the point where Liquid, despite having a great laning stage, despite taking that bottom Rax in relatively good time, maybe it wasn't enough against IG.V's lineup. Now they're really starting to hit their strides at this 30-minute mid-game point. They've got the combo. Paparazzi has more than caught up with the way he's built with that farm, with the Mask of Madness and the Blink Dagger, getting himself into position, getting himself around the camps.
Yeah.
And as we saw that, they pretty much blew everything on him at the start, Reaper Scythe and all, and it only took him down to about half health.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. We've seen Liquid run the Necro strat before, and they usually have these very burst-heavy heroes, so they can just drop the Reaper, and then while the Reaper's kind of happening, they nuke him down and blow him up. But we're talking about a Sven here this time around with the Halberd. It's a lot harder to just be able to burst down like that. But yeah, it's definitely looking troublesome, especially with that second Roche, the Cheese, the Aegis. It's a lot harder for Liquid to kind of just take small little type of engagements because they're going to be outnumbered for the most part. Yeah. It's looking like IG.V's going to be pretty strong for the next 10 minutes or so, especially with that gem that was picked up as well. They know where the vision is from Liquid, I'm pretty sure, from that last fight. And we do see a circle being drawn around the ward that they do have in mid. So they did catch a glimpse of that one. And with that gem, they can deal with the Glimmer Cape that has come out from the Winter Wyvern, KuroKy.
You'll see from Miracle as well. He's going full in on the stat build this game. So after working through the diffusion on the SMY, next up looking at that, getting that Skadi out. I mean, I guess obviously having that extra bit of kite and control through the BKB at the Sven is nice, and having that amount of beef yourself means that if you do get caught out of the combo, you're likely to be able to live through it and get the chance to, you know, just still pop out the whirling axes and have a punch back. But nonetheless, I really feel like, yeah, this Sven is certainly going to look to become more of an issue than this Troll is. But happens here, but in the GV's jungle, IG.V heading that way down, but Liquid just on the outside of their vision.
They don't want to take a head-on fight still. I mean, Aegis and Cheese is still
hard.
online.
They are sticking around, but as you said, this could become a bit of an issue for Liquid if they get jumped on themselves. Liquid getting very aggressive.
Aegis is getting
that was the
reclaimed.
time.
Yep.
There, they were looking for that time. There's the Aegis gone. Immediately they jump in. They'll take down the Darks here. Paparazzi getting bashed up, but there's the shackle control onto Kuro. Wyvern's down. Now the rest of Liquid starting to get themselves out of there. A little bit of panic coming from Liquid as the courier itself is sent in as well, taken down, and they're not done yet. IG.V, the boulder smash comes in. They've got the control onto Miracle, getting cleaved down by Paparazzi. GH, there's no escape for the Shaker as well. He'll try and hold Cicada back with the, maybe it's not all, but Cicada, he's hunting and he's finding and killing. GH down as well. The rest of the team managed to get mind control further up the lane. And as you said, I mean, we saw what they were waiting for. They were waiting for that Aegis timeout, but just a little bit of a desperation play from Liquid, and you can't afford to do that against IG.V now. The IG.V, they're just too damn big and beefy. It's getting to the point where I don't know how they kill this Sven. As we've seen, even with ults committed, they can't bring Paparazzi down before he gets the chance to put that BKB and get the disarm out onto Miracle.
Yeah, they used everything. They blew up in July Darks here, but then Cicada comes in through the back, silences KuroKy, and then KuroKy just dies without able to really commit anything into the fight. In July just buys back because of where the fight is taken. He just walked back in. And I'm pretty sure, I actually didn't see in the fight recap, but I'm 90% sure Paparazzi actually passed his cheese off to Cicada mid-fight. Okay. So Cicada full healed his mana and just kept going in that engagement. That's what we, because I saw Cicada with 0 mana and then he just surged up to almost like half or even more than that. So. Matu just goes
jumping in with this BKB, but he's not going to get the chance to repos anyone here. IG.V, they're too high in terms of health. GH jumping forward as well, trying to catch him, popping the dust. He has got the Venom Super, but Cicada just comes back in with the BKB, zips forward with the setup from Super, takes down GH. Up on the high ground, they will lose Paparazzi. So mass TP is coming through to the shrine to cut him off, do get the big kill for Liquid. So if they can get anything more, though, they're looking to chase down Super. They've got the slow from the Shroud. Mind controls there with the wraparound. Pops out the dust. The Glimmer Cape, not enough to save the Shaman. So Liquid are able to hit back, get that double, get that massive kill on Paparazzi. That really is the big one to write about, as IG.V with that sort of backing up. It looks like they sort of kind of just forgot about the Shrine. You know, TPs came through for Liquid. Paparazzi was blocked in. He's now down for 45. Doesn't have a buyback. Liquid may be able to get away with pushing another set of racks here.
There is the glyph, but you know, Battle Trance can make it look non-existent if they don't do it at the right time.
Oh, and look at that. He zipped in. Cicada, his BKB is still on cooldown. He has to be careful. We'll be able to get back to the Shrine. Has to be very wary with these, he's got about 23 seconds until that BKB's back up, where he can't really afford to go that aggressive here. Jumping from July. Oh, there's a bit of a one-by, but no mind control. Very quick with the BKB. Miracle turns around, gets the instant bash on the Earth Spirit, and Liquid, despite the wall and the combo being dropped down, they're able to keep the push going, get a second set of melee racks. Now they're looking for the retreat. Dogfights, he's there with the boulder smash, but still with this time with no Paparazzi Sven, there's not really enough damage from IG.V to just blow someone up. Cicada zips forward, but they can't fight without this Sven. Matuma Man with a BKB pop starts to force them back. Cicada's trying to finish off the killer. Now Paparazzi turns up. He's back in the game, comes forward, gets the Wyvern, the Reaper Scythe drop, not enough to kill Cicada. Matuma Man jumps forward though, tries to bring him down, and in fact, yeah, they got the kill. Mind control got him with the soul burn from the Orchid damage. Cicada will buy back. They're desperate to try and keep this fight going, IG.V. Paparazzi cuts down GH. Mind control go for the TP out, but Cicada's there, back in time with the Vortex after he buys back for this one. IG.V do end up getting some kills at the end of it all, but it cost them 2 buybacks. They still lost the melee racks. We'll see how much they can do with this time, but Liquid themselves, mind control, And Kura shouldn't need it. They've got buybacks available. When the Shaker's back up, GH has still got Echo Slam and 25, and I don't think IG.V are going to get too much done. Roshan, unfortunately for them, is not quite up yet. Maybe if that was there, they could go and take that very easily. They do have the wards available, but that timing's not going to be on their side.
Yeah.
So yeah, Liquid
taking
hitting really hard. I mean, it really just felt like IG.V were trying to force it a little too early before Paparazzi came back. They really wanted to try and catch someone on the way up from Liquid, but maybe you got to ask themselves, should they have approached that the same way they approached the bottom lane, where they said, well, they're taking the racks, we don't want to start throwing bodies on them just to catch someone on the retreat.
They really didn't want to lose that racks, though. I mean, the battle trance just makes it so easy for them to take in. Paparazzi actually bought a quarterstaff while he was dying in that top shrine, so that's why he didn't have buyback. So that was actually a pretty big mistake, actually, in my opinion, because losing that racks, you just, now you're evened up your mid lane, and they were on a surge of momentum coming in.
Oh,
now
if they lose Paparazzi again,
this could be extremely devastating. They have the ward vision there. The rest of IG.V is getting in the area, but
Paparazzi don't come up these stairs.
They are around.
Oh, they're coming in. There's GH coming in with a 2-man Echo. They'll drop the Reapers down. Paparazzi getting bashed up. That's the Sven down for 80 seconds. Zakata tried to come in with a BKB, but he just couldn't do enough. They're going to lose a second as Super's locked down. The silence is there, and Liquid, they're chasing for more. In July, getting caught by the tip of the Fisher isn't quite enough for them to follow through for the kill, but it is enough to force IG.V back. And it really feels like IG.V are making some painful decisions here, and Liquid quick to capitalize upon it, get the big kills, go straight to Roshan. There's going to be no contest from Vitality for this Aegis and Cheese, and Liquid are really getting themselves back on top of this game.
Yeah, them losing, IG.V losing themselves that gem in the last instances too, that really hurt them there, because then Liquid, after they take that mid-racks, they were able to put that nice vision up, and then after Paparazzi responds, he's like, yeah, I want to go farm, I want to get my item up, and Liquid capitalized on that. They know exactly where he is. They 5-man smoke, set up for him waiting on the high ground, perfect initiation, and how convenient. Roche just spawned, so they're able to clean that up now too. Aegis and Cheese for Liquid, and now it's time for them to try to go for that high ground siege. This is their biggest time window. They've got now the Dagon as well finished up. BKBs are starting to tick down to their 5-second on Miracle. What's my control? 8, and Matu is 8. Sven's shipping pretty low as well, down to 6. Storm is down to 7. So all the BKBs for the most part are starting to drop.
And as we've seen, as well as you were saying, Paparazzi really putting emphasis on trying to get this Bloodthorn done rather than holding on to any sort of resemblance of buyback gold. I mean, is it just the fact that they feel that they have to get these kills? There's no point having 2 lives on a Sven. I mean, I guess that's certainly true with the fact that Sven,
yeah,
he is relying on having that God Strength. And if he does die once, having the buyback, not having God Strength, maybe it doesn't make that much of a difference. You've just got to go all out with making sure you're fully kitted for that one attempt.
Now, yeah. Now, especially when you're playing versus Aegis and Cheese and when your Storm still has buyback cooldown, you need to pretty much be that big. You need to have everything online for yourself rather than holding your buyback. Just because of the God Strength.
Just kind of painful at this stage when you've got those 2 bits of the Bloodthorn, the Chrysalis and the Orchid, and you can't have both out. I mean, obviously, yeah, he was wanting to have the Orchid at his readiness, so Paparazzi can at least have a further silence to offer for the side. But here's the push. Now, Miracle, a little bit of time left on the DD, getting a bit of a punch through. Actually, will be sneakily forced forward there by Super.
Glyph will be back up in 1 second.
There we go again, but there's Matu, jump in, Reapers, Dagon, onto the Shaman. Not quite enough to kill him. Super's actually going to live through that, gets back to the shrine. So a good way for IG.V to start. Oh, there's the protect for the combo. GH will force out, but they've already lost one. Matu getting chased down. The BKB not doing anything, of course, to save him from the physical damage from Paparazzi. Mind control, times to turn. GH comes back in with the Echo. The 3-man Fisher. Sakata still has enough mana to zip out. Miracle back in, working his way through Paparazzi, who's stuck in the trees, being well and truly outawed. Jump forward from GH as he forces down, looking to lock this Paparazzi down, but the halberd evasion being enough to get him back up to the high ground. Miracle trying to turn onto Injuly, not quite able to finish off Miracle. But IG.V at the end of the day, they do hold the defense.
Paparazzi actually ends up living too. That was the halberd into the hex, into the shackles. The Troll Warlord could not get like any attacks off. But oh look, Miracle goes top rune and finds a regen rune. So push will continue.
I mean, it's a big hold though. You know, Paparazzi now has got that gold. He's got that Bloodthorn complete. And as we saw then, you know, it was definitely the fact that you could see what they wanted to do. They wanted to try and take Super out before he got a chance to drop the wards.
Yep.
But it just wasn't quite enough. The maths didn't check out. Even with the Reaper Scythe Dagon and such, they couldn't quite do it. Standing next to that shrine, super easily regens back up.
Yep. He had a couple stick charges, the perfectly timed Glimmer Cape, and then the, I think it was the Guardian Greaves plus Shrine, just ticked him just enough to not be bursted down from that Dagon Reaper Scythe combo. But I don't think Liquid's too disappointed with that. They forced a lot of aggression. They got tower down to... Oh, they actually didn't force the Glyph, though. They almost brought the tower down, but IG.V actually held their Glyph.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty big.
Pretty substantial.
Yeah.
But ooh, Liquid actually spots a DD rune bottom.
Again. They just had one up top.
It's the 40-minute mark
now. That's true.
So.
Yeah, it's runes for days. Here we go.
I loved Miracle's itemization this game. It's pretty standard, but having that early kind of diffusal is really good versus Sven.
And you like the choice for Scotty. Rather than anything sort of, as we said, maybe like an MKB because of the Halberg. You like the fact that he's just kind of built himself up, and he said, well, you can have a little bit of evasion. I'm still going to be able to outwithstand you in the fights that are drawn out. Yeah,
I like that he can just... his concept in this game is he just has to stand toe-to-toe with the Sven and man-fight him. And this is the man-fight build. He has two things to slow the attack speed. He has the diffusal to burn off the Warcry as well, and then, of course, his naturally built-in bashes.
There we go. Will be forced up to the high ground by Super again with these cheeky 4-star plays. Injuly jumps in, only gets the vacuum onto one. Immediately has to put the BKB as he gets silenced up, surges himself away. Miracle just standing his ground, pummeling into the racks. The fortification will come through. Matsui jumping in, trying to zap down Paparazzi. Not nearly enough burst there to bring him down. There's GH coming in and catching two with the Echo Slam. Miracle trying to man fight up against Dogfights. Will take it. Paparazzi gets the stun off in time. BKB as well. He's going to survive. Jumps forward, gets the second, picks up the double kill. And now the rest of Liquid. Miracle falling very low. The Hex coming out just in time to mind control. Trying to come back in. Miracle on this Troll Warlord, but it's not going to be enough as he'll lose the Aegis. Stun held onto mind control, trying to force the Nature's Prophet back. Paparazzi trying to go for a round two, but he has to be careful. Miracle back up with the second life, takes down Paparazzi. There's Paparazzi down for 90 seconds. No Cicada as well. They don't have buyback. And even though Liquid lose the Aegis, they absolutely walk away with this fight. They clean up the top racks. They should be able to just go for Megas, and maybe even the game is only in July and Super left alive. And indeed, it looks like it may all be falling apart for them here as they lose the Shaman. He will buy back. He's going to go and grab Miracle outside the fountain. They do have a vacuum. Maybe Injuly can drag Miracle into the base. Doesn't actually end up using it there. Wondered if he could try and go for a sneaky bit of a drag back and a block off.
But it's Megas.
It's not looking great. I mean, they've got the spend for the Megas, but they haven't got him for 50 seconds.
Liquid's trying to close this one out. Glyph is down.
They know that they can try and go for the collateral, and Miracle.
Storm's respawning right now.
There we have it. Oh, again, GH has been quick with his 4-stars. Gets himself out of the initial crux of the combo. Jump forward, mind control able to turn, take down one. He's now looking towards Injuly. He's put the BKB, trying to run himself away, but the physical damage from mind control is pretty hefty. Cicada now getting chased and up. Zips up to the high ground just in time. Super jumping forward. Cicada, can he actually escape? The Fisher connects. Cicada only with a little bit of mana left to play. No mind control. Peeps him there with the Nature's Prophet play. Takes him down. There's the buyback though. Looking for Miracle. Will find the Troll Warlord 10 seconds before the Sven's back in. Can IG.V well and truly hold this? No, they can't. By looks of it, Cicada trying for the TP out, but the fish is there. He's down for 100. Now the Sven's back, but Paparazzi's got no friends. Everyone's dead, and GG is called. Liquid taking game one at the end of it all. A bit of back and forth from the sides. But it really felt that Liquid just played the cleaner game, and IG.V making too many mistakes in that mid game.
A couple too many mistakes. They had some really cool smokes, really good plays coming out from them, but this is the IG.V that we do see a lot, is that once it gets to those later stages, the mistakes do come out. So we'll see if they're able to fix.
On chase for Empire. Finally, they've won a team fight, and they need to catch as much as they possibly can to make this all worth it. Looks like KheZu eventually going to go down here. There's no real escape for him. So they're going to be able to get 3 kills off of that team fight. A huge swing to the favor of Empire. But if they're not careful, they may actually lose a hero of their own here. The Apps are unable to get off the silence, though, against me.
That was a very, very good timing for Empire because they didn't have Ravage yet. So, like, if Ravage was up for that fight, you saw the way that KheZu blinked in.
Yeah.
He had really good positioning if he had his ultimate off cooldown, but unfortunately it just wasn't the case, so they were able to take out MP. And I didn't really think about this before, but time dilation destroys Necro.
Oh, it does.
Like, you wanna cast Death Pulse a lot during team fights. It's only a 5-second cooldown, and that's before the talents that let you lower it a little bit more if you choose to. I think it's 25, yeah, so like by 1 second.
There's not really a good, like, if you get slow to sword, He removes the time dilation, but it doesn't really do a whole lot else, right? There's not any huge single targets that you're going to be blocking away. You can't. You don't want to go BKB because it affects your Ghost Shroud. It's kind of like just not a real good winning scenario for MP. He's just kind of always going to be screwed over by that.
You just want someone else, like maybe, you know, Puppy gets it, maybe Yapzor eventually buys one, but he does also have a Glimmer in his inventory on top of that, so they have methods of saving, and it took a lot to take down MP, even they're going to catch F in here.
He does not have the silence, though. Obviously, to throw the silence down to block the Linken's. They are going to be able to get the swap back, though, so maybe they can kill him. Yule Scepter and a blink, not forward. To the other side? No. At least you can say going to be looking on the bright side for Empire. He didn't get Reaper Sight.
He didn't get Reapered. He also managed to dodge the Viper Strike and the stun with a single Yule's cast. That was definitely cool to see. But yeah, you're not getting away from it. That's just troublesome. But in the meantime, another Roshan Snake. This time it's going to be from the side of Empire. They're not killing it super fast, but they have a tier 2 in the bottom lane. So if Secret were to contest this, they needed to be here a little while ago.
Yeah, the exchange is not that bad, right?
I'd say it's actually better,
yeah,
to be honest. Because, okay, you have an Aegis on Resolution. He can just go in, you know, YOLO, doesn't have to pop his BKB. And then,
Jeez as well.
Yeah, this is a... I would say
they don't get caught. Yapzor here. Does manage to stop Pochka. That's one. Ghost Stick. Looks like his Shadow Blade is going to be enough to get him away. Just barely, though.
Making the best of a bad situation. I gotta say, Empire, again, the lanes were not ideal. And when I say not ideal, I mean they got trounced in the lanes. Like, they really did. Sure, you killed Kezu like 3 or 4 times. That's, you know, kind of expected if you keep showing in lane. But the way that they're holding off, given how bad the early game was, a lot of teams would have crumbled to that pressure.
Yeah, it's amazing what they've managed to accomplish. So little move. There's a little room to maneuver in this map.
Yeah.
They just were able to farm up a lot of space for Resolution. They just kind of created. They got a couple of very key kills with their combination. Chronosphere and Eclipse, or Chronosphere. Secret are beginning to stall out a little bit. They still have, I think, all the mechanisms. Oh, he actually changed it up. No Aghanim Scepter for MP, actually goes for the Force Staff instead. It just has a value point booster for now.
It's a solid choice. If you looked at the way the last fight went, when he got chronoed, he still died, like, but well after the chrono dissipated. So giving himself an additional save and not having to be completely reliant on getting swapped out, I would say is still a pretty big deal.
Supporting cast have Puppy hasn't actually upgraded into Solar Crest, picked up drums, and is now looking at a Ghost Scepter. Our Night Stalker has that Glimmer Cake Force Staff that we saw earlier, and is going for the Halberd up next. See if he can stop the Luna. I really like the new change of the Halberd and being able to disarm before BKB, especially since you know with a hero like Night Stalker you can actually move pretty far forward and get that Halberd off.
Right.
It also helps remove Linken's, which means he can get a silence onto the Queen of Pain easier.
Halberd's just a ridiculously efficient item in and of itself. Like, before, people didn't buy it because, like you said, it wouldn't linger.
Oh, a complete whiff from Ghost Stick. That is a game loser right there. The silent swap back. Ghost Stick's gonna die for his sins. Pay the extra punishment of the Reaper Scythe as well.
So I'm not... they didn't have a high ground ward either, right? Like, they didn't get dewarded or anything? Yeah,
just,
there's no sentries. He just went for it. That is... whew, that is aggressive, to say the least.
It's very unfortunate. He saw them, like, farming up when the creeps pushed it. He saw the heroes in a position, and he was like, this is my opportunity to be able to catch the Tide +1.
Right.
And then...
It happens, you know, every once in a while you think you have like this play opportunity and you go in and it just doesn't quite go the way that you want it to, so...
I actually... Oh, no.
Oh, close.
Almost stops the... yeah, but not quite. I can't imagine the pressure it must be, because, I mean, Dreska, you know, you played Initiators, right? There's a lot of pressure on you.
It's rough.
To get the big ultimate. You your team can't guide you in that regard. You just have to like kind of trust your instincts and go for it. That's already a lot of pressure in regular games. I can't even imagine the pressure of playing TI and playing an initiator like that.
I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah, me either, man. Well, maybe.
I think it's.
TI, I'll take the money.
I think it's important to remember why you have to initiate the fights. I think that's what makes it like the great initiators, because they understand how their team functions. So in this case, Resolution walks up to a tower, he gets disrupted, he pops his Manta, they get free chip damage. In that game, the Void doesn't have to go first.
Yeah.
The Void can wait, because if you are sieging with Shadow Demon Illusions, those things are crazy tanky. Resolution's got Butterfly. Like, look at how long it takes. He just walks them into a full creep wave and 2 heroes, and they're still alive. Like, this is why the Void doesn't have to go in, because they can continually do this over and over and over again. And sure, they're not as good against towers as they used to be, but it still deals damage.
Funny how the creep wave, when looking at these tower defenses, normally they're helpful, but in these situations, it's almost bad.
It's really bad.
Just because the illusions sit on the low ground. Nice swap back into the Reaper's sight. It's just going to be the Aegis, though. And Empire are all set up, ready to go with the Chronosphere. BKB popped immediately. They're going to go for the Eclipse. They do manage to catch Viper with the Chronosphere. They're going to try and bring him down anyway with the bolt and the full combination of the Sonic Wave as well. They will manage to kill one core, but now they've caught Resolution underneath the tier 3. Kezu throws down the Ravage, only catches the one there. But it looks like they are going to be able to chase down a couple more heroes. Poshka, he's certainly dead. And looks like that will be all. The rest of Empire are able to get out. So that costs them an Aegis, plus the death on Resolution, which is going to stall up this farm a little bit. And they didn't manage to finish up either tier 3, which would have been a huge swing if you could unlock those shrines and give yourself even better opportunity to roll that Roshan pit in other areas.
The most unfortunate part about the teamfight for Empire is mid one didn't have buyback. Like, if they had managed to get out of there, and the Ravage hit Resolution at such a perfect time that he couldn't get off the cheese. If he popped the cheese, there was turn potential because his entire team was behind him, but as soon as the Luna drops, you no longer have that really durable front line. You can't afford to be sitting there anymore, so they kind of just lose, you know, 1 or 2 extra heroes on top of that. So it gives Secret a bit of breathing room, but that mid tower is basically dead to rights. If Empire walk down mid again and they're able to get to that tower without Secret taking something somewhere else on the map, it's gonna die. And I still think that, like you mentioned earlier, there are a lot of nerves, because most of the time, you know, maybe Resolution just wanted to use his Aegis, and maybe that's why he walked up to the high ground. But with a Shadow Demon, it's been a while since people have played this hero a lot competitively, but you don't actually need to walk to the high ground. You can just Illusion Siege forever. And if the enemy team doesn't have a way of jumping you reliably, they will just eventually get whittled down.
As a result, Secret managed to win that fight. They're up by 6k, but they are not really having the same control of the game they once had. 6k gold lead is nothing at this point in the game, especially when you're facing such strong scaling heroes like Luna and faces Void. You're beginning to get some bigger items. We say the Shivas, for example, on FN. He was looking at a BKB earlier, but opted for the Shivas instead. Kind of help out against some of that physical damage and minus armor coming out from the Viper. Faces Void with the Diffuser Blades. Some huge upgrades. They are going to find a free pickoff here on Roger. But, and again, free pickoffs really aren't just free pickoffs when you've got a Necrophos on your team, and he adds that full 30 seconds to your death timer.
This is actually painful because he can't buy back. Because the mid wave is pushing in, they're going to be able to just walk top. It doesn't matter if, you know, the creep wave, or there's 2 or 3 waves on the way to Secret Space, they don't care. Like, they're just going to sit here and hit the building.
They are going to keep going on Resolution, see if he can maybe trade, as he's going to run his illusions to the tier 3 at mid lane. Once he opens up that tier 3, it's really easy to cut down those barracks, so they can actually just trade. I think they could even go like 1 for 2 if a Secret don't actually back up.
The TP got canceled.
TP got canceled. Viper ends up getting caught in the Chronosphere. Ghosting is going to back out. They don't get a kill out of that one, but they do stop the TPs, and that means MP is completely undefended. Resolution just brought him down. It's actually going to be able to take a full lane of Rax here. The TPs are slow to come through, and Resolution will take those 2 down.
He's going to make it out.
BKB TP out, and he's away. Just like that, MP bought back and everything, but he didn't even have the Reaper sight up, even if he was there. to stop that TP. What a huge play. They lost a tier 3, but they killed 2 tier 3s and took a full lane of racks for Empire. And forced a buyback.
Yeah, they forced a buyback out of MP. He TP'd in the front. He got Soul Catcher eclipsed. He just got evaporated. You can't pop Ghost Shroud against that. Like, you just die. That was an insanely good TP cancel. I'd say if that doesn't happen, there's no feasible way that Empire are able to play that the same way. As soon as they saw that TP, they were probably just like screaming, we cancel the TP, just go, just hit the buildings. Force them back. Luna, probably, I would say the fastest base killing hero in the game if you have the tier 3 exposed. Like, Tiny does a ton of damage to one building, but Luna just hits all your buildings at the same time.
Yeah, just as soon as the tier 3's gone, all of a sudden it's like something's just unlocked. And then Luna just hits one building and it bounced to all these other buildings. And as a result, Resolution. I mean, do you agree with me here, Draskell? Empire's ahead. Empire's
I would definitely say they are ahead.
They were in such a bad scenario in the first 10 minutes of the game, and they brought it back to their favor. They're going to get a swap back. Maposhka, he's dead. And he doesn't have buyback. So Empire, once again, lose a support who doesn't have buyback. Fortunately for them, no Roshan is up. Not yet, anyway.
Their strongest heroes are still up, and they have buyback on both of them. So Gostic will be able to buy back if he ends up going down, and so will Resolution. 25 seconds on the TP, that's actually still a bit of time for the Luna, but they are going to make their way towards bottom regardless. Mid is also exposed, so we could see a potential base trade, because Empire know that Secret have pretty much all of their ultimates, well, they're going to be up. Necro is like 30 seconds left on Reaper, so if they defend, they're probably going to be fighting into it. I don't know if Secret really want to do this. Yeah, they're TPing back.
They do not. I love the fact that Resolution is in so many of these situations not TPing back. I think it is the potential death of Empire if they ever just say, okay, we're going to 5-man defend our base.
Yeah, that's probably the thing that has been winning them the game, to be honest.
Every single one of these situations, right? They're going high ground. Resolution's like, I'm going to take a tier 2.
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep farming because that's the only way. You have to put a threat on the board somewhere. You can't just take the fight the enemy team wants to take.
I think that's a really important point. Like, if you want to take anything away from this game, especially as a carry player, you can stay in the lane for like an extra minute or two as long as you don't TP back to base. Because sometimes that just puts you in the position to apply the pressure that's necessary. You have to force the enemy team to do something. Dota's all about pressure. If you're not pressuring anywhere, you're not winning the game.
X just to make sure that Luna gets that illusion, gets out safely. See, the vision is a little bit better for Team Secret, being that they have Night Stalker. That plus they have the gem.
Here we go.
But we are going to have the smoke up wrap around from Empire.
Dude, look at those illusion runes just demolishing. Like, they're so good. Like, one Manta pop and one illusion rune, you have 2 lanes pushing at the same time.
Let's see, they did see Viper up there towards the Secret Shop. Are they going to try and cut up there to fight into that area?
They got vision.
They got vision around this area, so it feels a whole lot better. Nighttime is gone as well. He's on the front lines. It's going to be able to get the Chronosphere onto 2. They see MP. They go for him first. Throw out the Sonic Wave. Unfortunately, Resolution got caught at the tail edge, but it doesn't look like it matters at all. The 2 in the Chronosphere both end up dead, and it looks like they're going to get Yapzor as well. That's going to be a gem dropped, and Empire in full offense mode against 3 heroes with no buyback.
Oh my god. Roshan's up, so I think they're going to go for the safe play. It makes sense, because they probably feel like they're ahead at this point. They're like, okay, our heroes are online, our Luna's gigantic, they don't have anything to deal with this. As long as the Chrono hits at least 1 hero, it's like, okay, yeah, if Puppy swaps, you're going to die, but Puppy still has a fair amount of items, you know? It's not like, it's not nice to lose your Venge in the beginning of the team fight. But a really nicely placed Chrono from Gostic there makes up for the little bit of a snafu we had earlier. He hits the core and the Venge at the same time. That's perfect. That's exactly what you want.
And it's all thanks to that smoke that they had. They pushed through mid, got the vision down. It's not a hugely tricky play, just solid fundamentals by Empire. And now they have the potential to end this game right here. 20 seconds still for the Necropos gone. You do have a little bit of problem dealing with this Viper, but the illusions have no problem at all. They don't have to worry about their HP. They just keep on pushing forward, getting damage, chipping away at both the Viper as well as that range Rax. They've got time, plenty of time with this Aegis. X and a Torrent, but no Chronosphere to lock down that Tidehunter, and I think that's really where Empire need to bide their time. They can actually have the Chronosphere up again, and if they get the right kind of initiation, I think the game is over for Team Secret. I don't think you can fight it.
It could be. It could very well be that. The MKB on mid one has been enough to force them back. The combination of having the Butterfly and the Illusions on top of that was really annoying because he didn't have any reliable way to bypass the evasion. But now that the Viper has that MKB, and he's got the Hurricane Pike plus the extra 75 attack range, which you don't really see a whole lot, but when you're on the defense, it feels like the better choice because you can stay, the farther away you can be as Viper, the better while still hitting somebody. I think he's probably the last bastion that Secret has for this defense because MP had a fantastic lane. He crushed it, right? But he can only do so much now. If he's chronoed every single team fight and he's eating like a Soul Catcher and an Eclipse, you can't really do anything about it if you can't buy BKB, right? Yeah. Which we already talked about earlier. You don't typically want to buy BKB on Necro.
Yeah, because then you can't actually use Ghost Shrouds, so very awkward.
And just look at the lanes. Like top lane, there's just Illusions already.
Yeah.
Just beating down the creeps.
Mid one actually ferried himself out a south just so he didn't have to go all the way back to Fountain because he wanted to push out top lane because he knew that they're just going to get hemmed in. Right, so he goes and he's like, every little second counts. I need to push out this top lane. But even that little bit of extra effort by him is immediately just reversed by the fact that Resolution is able to have his Manta Illusion push out that top lane. Now Secret are actually pushed in on all three of their lanes. They've got double Siege Wagon beating on their mid-racks right now while the Illusions push in through bottom.
This is the absolute ideal situation for Empire.
Got everything going their way. Now can they just close that out? Here comes the BKB Chronosphere. They're going to be able to get the Viper, but there's a little bit of a ravage there. Does manage to control some heroes, but not the BKB Resolution. That is the big threat. And that's why the Tidehunter almost dies to him, but fortunately the Swamp Back managed to save one core, and Tidehunter tanky enough to live through the other one, but the Raxes just cannot be saved. It looks like the Cliff provides a momentary respite, but the Bouncing Glaze are going to rip him to shreds, as well as the heroes in the back lines. MP is still having problems with them, and Resolution goes straight for the throat. He wants to finish up this last mid lane of Rax to get the Megas down. They manage to get Kazu here into the Torrent. Resolution does just a little bit of damage to finish him off. He looks like he'll lose his life finally, but that's just the Aegis. They do manage to bring down the Void. Maybe with a supporting cast, can they bring down Resolution? They just can't quite catching up to him. Maposhka gets caught out. Mid one managed to finish him off, but they really need this Resolution kill so badly. Torrent onto 2. Beautiful play there from the Kunkka that's going to slow down a lot of these heroes, but it's Resolution who finally gets caught by the Gush, immediately reverses that slow with a Manta, and they give up on the chase. Yes, Secret held ever so barely with just a range Rax at 400 HP, but they didn't get anything big that changes the nature of the game for them.
And even with those 2 heroes dead on the side of Empire, there's no Roshan. And now they got to push the lanes out. That's really the problem. Like, they need to kill creeps. The Luna and the Illusions just pushing side lanes all the time. It's slowly but surely just kind of choking them out of the game. They're not able to find as many opportunities to take fights because they have to worry about, like, mid one bought a mail.
Oh, they need this kill. They need this kill so badly. Yapzor ran into an Invis FN and they got him. So they get a Reaper sight again. Not really that game-changing by itself, but it's a drop in the bucket.
It's a start.
Thirsty as hell.
It is a start, and you need one at this point. You need heroes off the map, especially the heroes that kill the creep waves the fastest. So the Queen of Pain and the Luna are the 2 best at just shoving out the wave. With those off the map, that is probably the best thing that Secret could hope for. Maybe killing Resolution is going to be a bit more, it'll make you feel a bit better, but I mean, God, how do you actually kill him? Butterfly, Scotty, BKB, Lincoln's Manta. Yeah, I love his itemization in this game because a lot of the times you wouldn't see so many defensive items on Luna. You'd see at least 1 damage item, or maybe a lifesteal or something like that. But this game, he understands his role. He's just a siege engine. He's a catapult cap. He just walks around and he just hits buildings. That's what he wants to do at this point.
Wasn't there Warcraft 3, the siege engines? Didn't they have that bouncing mechanism, the Night Elves one?
The Night Elf one had the glaive, I think, that like pierced through stuff.
Oh,
he would shoot it forward and it would like hit in a line in front of you. But yeah, that's his role, and I still feel like his play in particular, FN has done a great job at recovering as much as he has, but a lot of that was just on the back of Resolution being the one who was applying most of the pressure during the mid game.
Yeah.
He was the one pushing the waves, you know, he was the one creating all that space and allowing FN to just kind of sit. A lot of the time, he's just farming the jungle. You don't see that very often on a Queen, but his lane was so hard. He's like, I don't want to ever go back mid. He's going to have, like, PTSD, even if they win this game, which...
He's probably telling his team, like, someone go mid for me, and then everybody's like, not me. He's like, don't make me go back there, guys. Don't make me go back.
It was brutal. But yeah, Empire, just fantastic hold this game. The TP cancels on top lane, allowing them to counteract, just bringing themselves back from the brink of defeat. First game here on the TI stream number 4. Definitely a doozy.
So he just picked up the Scotty, right? That was his pickup in like the last 2 minutes. Or
yeah,
he got it after our most recent fight, and I think he also got level 25. I know I was watching him; he was pretty close to it earlier. So that's plus 40 to all stats that he didn't have before.
Those illusions are gonna be. Mid one's the only one who can kill him. Like the death pulse doesn't really. It does some damage, but it's not super impressive by any means. And plus, if MP walks forward, he's just going to get chronoed. I mean, that's the really scary part. Mid one is the hero on Secret who has the best chance of walking forward and not just instantly dying.
What do you do as Secret here, right? You're always being pushed in with your lanes because you lost so many you can't really team fight Team Empire here. Your game plan. You're in Puppy's chair right now, Draskell. What do you say to your team? What's our play?
Well, you definitely need to be able to smoke. I think mid one has done the right thing by itemizing for the Mjolnir. It's necessary. Like, if you don't have this item on Viper, you just don't kill creeps fast enough. So you need to at least push out one lane, and then you need to try to go for like a YOLO smoke and maybe wrap around on Empire, find the back line first. Try to kill the heroes that do the saving before they can do the saving. I mean, it's obviously easier said than done, but you can see Yapsor is drawing like a little squiggle on the map. He's like, I want to go around. I want to try to find them while they're not in the perfect siege position.
Are you willing to use, say, Reaper's Scythe to cut down the Faceless Void?
Oh, absolutely.
Right, stop.
You want the control is probably the scariest thing, because what happens a lot of the time during the fights is first Gostic will cast Chrono, and then Kezu will come in afterwards, and he'll be forced to Ravage. Like, he needs to after the Chrono comes out. But the problem was when they were defending bottom, the two heroes that were in the actual Ravage range were BKB'd. So he Ravaged anyway, because, you know, you want to try to do something, but it just didn't end up being that effective.
Right.
So if you can get your spells off before BKBs are popped, before Chrono comes out, you absolutely Reaper a core. I think you have to.
Secret, somehow, despite always being pushed in, not really having... I mean, at least they still have this Aghanim Scepter gem, so they do have some sort of vision advantage in these fights, but they've got to find a way to be the initiators, right? They've got to be able to get a Ravage off before the BKBs go down.
It's so hard, man.
The Chronosphere. They do have some vision here. Yapsor spots a couple of heroes here. Running forward with his Glimmer Cape, but they're going to pop the Ravage here. BKB goes off first, so Kezu is going to be target of this Eclipse. Meanwhile, the Chronosphere does actually catch a couple of heroes. They manage to cut down the Shadow Demon. That's really worth it for the Chronosphere. He does manage to get off one Ravage, throws down a second one, controlling up Resolution beautifully. Can they bring him down, though? He's at half HP. Hazamanta rips Kezu a Sundal. It looks like they doesn't even stand a chance. Secret just fall to all this physical damage that Resolution putting out. He finally gets the kill off the mid one. As the lightning bounces it around, they do manage to kill several of these heroes and maybe even catch FN. They're trying to chase him down now. Takes the Void. Oh no, the linkage, it wasn't up yet, but it looks like he's still managed to get himself away. The base is under siege from all these super creeps. Fortunately, the Ranger Axe is still alive at only 97 HP. So even if Secret do win that fight, I'm not sure if they can force buybacks.
I don't think they can force buybacks. Definitely not. I mean, they almost just lost their Ranger Axe to Illusions. That's not good. That Rex does not regenerate, as our good friend Grant, who did not make it to TI, he would say unhealable damage.
Unhealable damage.
Yeah, it's definitely rough. But that being said, the team fight actually went pretty darn well. They're not going to be able to find Yapsor here, but that was also the reveal of the Refresher, right? They get the Refresher Ravage 2 times, comes out, they swap mid one into a position where he is just sitting as far away as possible, just blasting people. Like, he is just hitting, and he has a lot of offensive items. Like, almost everything in his inventory helps him deal damage. So in that case, it was like the ideal situation, right? You get your hero in the back line doing all the damage. The people that you want to die first kind of died first, and Kezu got his spells off.
So they may not have been able to force buybacks, but they did at least get the Roshan. They're going to get the Aegis for MP. Yapsor got the cheese. Certainly adds a lot. Now you don't have to worry about MP can force it down. Oh, look at that man. Yeah, he's going to go for it. And and I don't think they're even going to be able to kill him. Swap back. That's going to help. Oh, doesn't actually blink over the cliff there, so he's going to be stunned up. The Reaper Sight is here. Oh. Yeah, they do bring him down. 120 seconds,
That's
but he
so
has
worth
buyback. That is certainly worth it because it's going to force Secret into a push, right? I don't think they can play the late game against Mega.
Definitely not. I mean, unless Puppy wants to transition into a core and buy his own Maelstrom.
Yeah, he needs a lot of items to get there.
There is just so much lane pressure now being pushed the way of Team Secret. They can't... It's really hard to get out on the map being like even a Rax or two down against the Luna lineup when they're able to just freely walk around the map. But being Mega'd is just an entirely different beast.
Your supports could at least push out waves against super creeps.
Right.
Now, they can't help you at all. It's always got to be a core. So, Secret about to go for the all-in. They have to force this buyback out of the Queen of Pain and still make a successful team fight out of it.
And they're also playing into buybacks. Like, the only person on Empire that doesn't have buyback is the Shadow Demon. Everyone else has buyback. And that's typically what you see when you take, you know, a set of racks or two. In this case, they've obviously fully racks.
Straight for the tier 4. Jump in. Ravage managed to catch the support as well as Resolution here. Sets up for the second Ravage. Unable to get it off. His BKB goes down first. And that means with the controlling Chronosphere, they're going to be able to bring down both MP and Mid-1. Mid-1 gets swapped out. More damage on to Ghost. He's surviving for a while, but eventually he does go down. Buyback. And let's see if he can boots a travel in onto Puppy. If they kill Puppy, he won't make it in, but they do manage to get it out. Mid-1 fights up. Meanwhile, the Reaper Sight goes down on Resolution, but it's not enough. Mid-1, he needed to help out on that damage, but he's not able to get there in time, so Resolution gets back to the base. Now it's just Mid-1 and his two supports pushing into the 3 of Empire, who are able to play it slowly and play with the regen that the Fountain offers. One tier 4 is about to drop. FN comes forward, just a little bit of poke here. Ghosted. Oh, he's actually gonna die. Okay, now it's a 3v2, but Resolution's also going for the throne. He's just gonna straight for it, and their Lincoln's there to be able to stop the stun. They don't have enough damage to be able to bring this down. Resolution's just gonna end the game, and Team Secret can't stop it. Resolution does find a way to just end it outright, but Secret, at least they made it one hell of a game toward